Hey everybody, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn. This is an excerpt from an interview I did with Mark Weiss a couple months ago, where he talks about photographing the legendary Bon Jovi album cover, Slippery When Wet. I think you guys will really enjoy hearing all the different iterations this album cover went through until they finally decided on the final version. If you enjoy hearing his story about this, check out my full podcast interview with him, episode 45, where he talks about working not only with Bon Jovi, but Twisted Sister, Cinderella, Aerosmith, and so many more. I think you guys are going to really enjoy that. Also, you're going to want to check out his book, The Decade That Rocked, where he shares all of his photos and stories of this incredible decade. It's really a great book. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button below. If you're listening to one of my podcasts, subscribe over there as well. Also, head on over to Facebook and follow my page, The Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love. Now, let's listen to Mark talk about photographing that legendary album cover of Bon Jovi's Slippery When Wet.
And then the big one, obviously, was Slippery When Wet.
Exactly. And so I learned from reading your book, I did not realize this, that the album was originally going to be called Wanted Dead or Alive. And I was a Bon Jovi fan from like 83, 84, because I grew up in Brooklyn, so I knew Bon Jovi from local radio stations. And you did a whole photo shoot of them doing like a cowboy theme, which ended up getting, I guess, put to the side. I think they used it on a single, if I'm not mistaken. So talk about that whole iteration of going from the cowboy scene to the woman to the iconic cover that ended up happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they came up with, I don't know if it was going to be called Wanted Dead or Alive or just Wanted, but
okay.
It was that theme, and
right.
The idea was to have them in beards and in the Billy the Kid like garb. So they all grew beards and they all came to my studio in New York, and I spent about maybe a half hour with each one, kind of just giving me just a very straight look. And we did this 12-inch cover of kind of laid it out to see what it would look like. And then they kind of felt that they needed, they didn't want the beard look, and they didn't think it was a good image for them. And so then they said, well, why don't we take the poster that you made, because we turn it into a poster, and go up to Vancouver where they're recording, find a warehouse or like a getaway like they had, and then put them in front of it like they're hiding out, but now they're clean shaven. So you get pretty boy look, but you got the posters with the themes, still called Wanted. Okay. So we did that, and we thought it came out good. Everyone liked it. Went home, and then I got a call back saying, we're changing the name. It was just a management band call, and they call it Slippery When Wet, and there's this behind that. Right. And inspired by the sign and the strip club in Vancouver. So when they came back from recording, we did a shoot in front of John's apartment that he rented by the beach in New Jersey with all the girlfriends and their cars, motorcycles, and we had car wash stuff, and we all had the shirt Slippery When Wet cut up, and we just did a photo shoot. We didn't know if it was the cover or what it would be, but we just wanted to see how it was. And then one of the girls that we ended up getting from the beach across the street, from the beach, that during the photo shoot was Angela, and she had the big boobs. And we put her right in the middle. I didn't do any close-ups of her, but she stood out, And so after we got the photos back, we were like, let's, do a photo shoot with just her, not where you can see her face, just very tight. Right. And that was it. That was the cover, And I have that right here. Let's see. So this ended up being the cover. Yep. This is actually, they turned it into a single sleeve. So You Give Love a Bad Name. So they used it quite a bit. But this cover, they printed like 500,000 copies, and like I think a couple 100,000 went to Japan where they sold the record there. Right. But the ones in America,
that's how I got mine.
Right. So the ones in America, because of the PMRC and the Walmarts and all the stores that weren't going to stock sexist things, said, if you put that out, we're not going to sell it. And the record company and the band, they didn't want any. They knew they had a great album. They didn't want anything to hold it back. So that's when we came up with the next idea. There's actually a couple other ideas. Like there was the soap and the hands. I don't know.
Right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we did that after the girl because we figured, all right, it's not a girl, it's a hand with a bar of soap. So we spent like $2,000 on a bar of soap and $1,000 for the hand model. And I looked at John and Richie and all them. I'm like, okay, I'll do it, And I did that, and it looked like crap, It's like they mocked it out and all that, but it was like, all right, we got to come up with something. And then, John just, I think we had like a day left to come up with something, or we mess up the release date. So he said, come up, I'm coming up. I'm gonna bring you like a black garbage bag, and just said, okay. I didn't know what he was gonna do.
Right.
Walking through the door by himself, put the garbage bag on the wall, tack it up, throw some spray on it, and then he just wrote "slippery when wet," and then he left. I said, "Wait, don't you want to see the Polaroid?" He goes, "No, just take it. It's theirs."
Right.
And then the rest is history, really.
And right. So what I love about the book, with all of those different photo shoots, is you have, like, I think the Wanted photo shoot ended up being used on like a cassette single that I had. I remember seeing like something like that. But you have all these different outtakes from that photo shoot, like the little like square pictures of each of the band members, which I'd never seen before. And even the girl that you just showed on the front cover, like you said, you didn't do any full body things, but you have one that's uncropped, I'll say, that you can see a little bit more. And I find that kind of stuff like really, because to me, even the girl cover is iconic. I had that in 1987 or 1988 from Japan. And to see the full photo, I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's really cool. So that's one of the things I loved about the book, is even seeing photos that I'm very familiar with and saying, oh, but wait, there's a little more to that photo that I've never seen before. I thought that was a really neat thing in the book.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Alrighty, I hope you enjoyed hearing that story from Mark. I thought it was really cool. If you enjoyed it, certainly you're going to want to check out episode 45 and listen to my full conversation with Mark Weiss. If you're watching on YouTube, I included that link directly below this video. Also, you're certainly going to want to check out his book, The Decade That Rocked. I highly recommend it. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button below. If you're listening to one of my podcasts, subscribe over there as well. Head on over to Facebook and follow my page, The Rock and Roll Experience with Mike Brunn, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love. That's it for now. Talk to you guys soon.